Read the selection and choose the best answer to each question. An unusual burglar. Theft is a serious crime. If someone stole something from you, you would most likely not be too forgiving. You would probably be very upset if the stealing continued for years. There is a place in California where thefts take place nightly. Strangely, though, most people there just laugh when their items disappear. That is because the culprit is a cat. Jean Chu and her family adopted Dusty, their pet cat, a few years ago. Not long after he moved in, the family members started finding odd objects lying around. One day, they would find a glove and an unfamiliar towel. The next day, there would be a pot holder and a sock. At first, no one knew what to think about the items that mysteriously appeared on the porch or in the yard. Soon, they realized that the objects always showed up in the morning. And which member of the family tended to roam every night? That would be Dusty. There was rarely a day when the family failed to find some of Dusty's loot. Yet, catching him in the act was difficult. Then, the television channel Animal Planet heard about him and decided to feature him on its show, Must Love Cats. A film crew was sent to Chu's home. The crew followed Dusty's nighttime escapades with an infrared camera. Sure enough, the camera caught him in the act as he dragged home an item of clothing. Before that, Chu had caught him in the act only once, when she saw him come in with a glove. After the Animal Planet visit, videos of Dusty's burglarizing became very popular on YouTube. Interest in Dusty expanded beyond Animal Planet. Soon, Chu was receiving calls from various television shows that wanted to have Dusty as a guest. The family accompanied Dusty to New York City, where the cat appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman and became a celebrity. From the beginning, Chu was concerned about the owners of the stolen items, so she would collect the items, clean them, and then try to return them to her neighbors. Sometimes, though, she did not know who owned a particular item. She started to keep a list of all the things Dusty brought home in order to keep track of them. One day, he brought home 11 items. Over time, Chu ran into a continuing problem. The items belonging to unknown owners were piling up. There were bathing suits, toys, shoes, and caps. Chu stored them in boxes in her dining room until it was filled with the stuff. Eventually, she laid everything out on tables in her front yard. Then she put up signs inviting her neighbors to come reclaim their belongings. It wouldn't have been surprising if the owners of the missing objects had used this event as an opportunity to complain. But most everyone was good natured about the thefts. Kelly McLennan, who lives nearby, said, "He stole my bikini. He did it in 2 trips. He was very focused on keeping the ensemble. When it went missing, I wasn't worried though. I knew where to go." The Somers family lost lots of shorts and towels, several sponges, and 6 bathing suits that Dusty took from a clothesline. "We don't leave anything out anymore," said Stephanie Somers, "but we don't mind. We like Dusty." The rest of the community seems to share this affection for Dusty. He is often asked to take part in area pet events. One time, he was asked to lead the Redwood City Pet Parade. On another occasion, he was the special guest in an animal fashion show. For the show, he wore a most appropriate outfit, a jumpsuit with prison stripes. And under this picture, the caption says, "Dusty at an event." And the sign above Dusty says, "Over 500 items to be returned." Question 1. The main purpose of paragraphs 7 and 8 is to A. Show that Dusty takes items from only 2 of Chu's neighbors. B. Explain that Chu's neighbors aren't bothered when Dusty takes their personal items. C. Emphasize that Chu's neighbors deliberately leave objects lying around for Dusty. Or D. Describe how Dusty carefully chooses the items he takes from Chu's neighbors. Question 2. The author wrote this selection most likely to tell the reader that F. Dusty should face consequences for his actions. G. Dusty has caused major problems for his owners over the years. H. Because Dusty is a cat, he is active mostly at night. Or J. Dusty is a cat with a habit that has attracted a lot of attention. Question 3. In what way does Chew stay aware of Dusty's activities? A. She waits for Dusty on the porch when he leaves the house. B. She watches videos on YouTube to see what Dusty has done. C. She creates a list of the items he has brought home. Or D. She talks with neighbors each morning to learn about missing items. Question 4. Which sentence expresses the main idea of paragraph 2? Jean Chew and her family adopted Dusty, their pet cat, a few years ago. G. Not long after he moved in, the family members started finding odd objects lying around. H. One day they would find a glove and an unfamiliar towel. Or J. Soon they realized that the objects always showed up in the morning. Question 5. In paragraph 1, the word culprit means someone who is A. Active mostly at night, B. Interested in hunting for treasure, C. Guilty of a wrongful act, or D. Extremely annoying to live near. Question 6. What does the information presented in this selection suggest about how people view Dusty's actions? What does the information presented in this selection suggest about how people view Dusty's actions? F. They are surprised that Dusty's actions have not made Chew find him a new home. G. They believe that Dusty's actions are a result of his being in an unfamiliar neighborhood. H. They are entertained by stories about Dusty. J. They are confused about how Dusty manages to take many of the belongings. Number 7. The reader can infer that Chew is concerned about Dusty's habit because she A. has contracted a group of experts to help her work with Dusty, B. reminds her neighbors to gather their belongings before it gets dark outside, C. keeps Dusty busy with other activities to try to change his behavior, or D. thinks of ways to return the items she finds to their proper owners. Question 8. Which of these best summarizes the selection? F. A cat named Dusty has become famous for taking items from neighbors. He has appeared on The Late Show with David Letterman, Must Love Cats, and YouTube. He also appears in parades and fashion shows. Or G. A cat named Dusty is popular with his neighbors because he takes their items. He sneaks out at night and brings the objects back to his owner's house. He has been caught on video by a television crew. Or H. Dusty, a recently adopted cat, began to roam around his neighborhood in California every night. Before long, he began to steal things from his neighbors. He stole hundreds of items before being caught. Or J. Dusty, a cat in California, has a habit of bringing home items he finds around his neighborhood. One night, a crew working for a television show filmed him bringing home an item of clothing. He has since become famous and appeared elsewhere on television. Question 9. A reader can infer that the author's attitude toward Dusty is one of A. amusement, B. outrage, C. curiosity, or D. sympathy. Question 10. Based on the photograph, the reader can tell that Dusty F. likes wearing outfits, G. is unwilling to return what he took, H. has taken items repeatedly, or J. has stopped taking items from people.